Welcome, everybody. It's SoccerBeat, and we're talking Kaizer Chiefs. And I've got Kaizer Chiefs star, Tsepo Masilela, and coach Grant de Smidt. Grant, Tsepo, how are you? You're in better shape than Kaizer Chiefs from what I saw in the preseason tournament. But that's the answer. You're in better shape. Kaizer Chiefs fans out there, I'm worried about this preseason. I think so is Tsepo, and I'm so is Grant. And we're going to talk about what really worries us, and we're going to look at solutions, because Chiefs need solutions now. And that's not being negative, that's being preemptive. And, you got to be like the Boy Scout, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that's what we're going to do in this show. Before we get there, guys, we said when we reach 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, we'll be giving away 50,000 Rand in prizes. And the competition is officially live now. 50,000 Rand waiting for you guys who subscribe. Go on the SoccerBeat social media platforms and enter. But you must remember, you must be subscribed and you got a chance of winning that. Do it now, guys. I want you to get the money. Right. Grant and Tsepo. Out there, it's like fathers telling. It's quite interesting. It's the only time I think in the world where fathers have been telling the media what's happening in football. I love the transparency. But Mayo's father and Mayambela's brother, family members, I should say, have gone public and said that Kaizer Chiefs sporting director Kaizer Matong has contacted Mayo's son and contacted Mark's brother, Patrick Mayo's son, and Mark Mayambela's brother, with the possibility of joining Kaizer Chiefs. Now, the problem with Kaizer Chiefs is very clear. A number 9. Silva does not look like the answer. We hope he will be, but it does not look like the answer. And as I said, we've got to be like the Boy Scout, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So let's prepare that he may not be the answer for Kaizer Chiefs. What we then got to look at is who's out there. The current players there have proved to be not good enough. Dube's got a half a chance. Is Mayambela or Khanyisa Mayo, or the other player they're looking at, we hear from Black Leopards, Muzi, they call him, but we'll come to him last. Let's talk about Khanyisa Mayo. Grant, you know a lot about the player, ex-Cape Town City, now playing in Algeria, top team, Bulu Zidane.
Yeah, the Khanyisa Mayo, when he first came to City, he was a winger, and then they moved him into a number 9 position, probably because of his physical size. He's got good height, but he had 2 good scoring seasons there at City. He had one season where he got 13 goals, and he had one season where he got 11 goals overall. It's good returns. The one kind of red flag I'd find in that is that his goals are came in patches. In that first season, he got 13 overall, but there was a 9-game stretch where he scored 8 goals, and then he had quite big droughts either side of that. And in his second season, he got 11 goals overall, but for most of that season, he was struggling. He had another hot streak in the middle of the season, and then he scored 1 in his final 12 matches. So he seems like a player who kind of gets, a boost of confidence from a couple of goals, and then he can hit a hot streak. And we even saw Eric Tinkler, talking about him when he started the one season poorly, that, his confidence was a bit low and he needed to work harder for the team. So I think there are a few red flags that worry me there. And if he's coming in as a number 9, then yes, you're going to get someone who can finish well. He's quite good in the air, and he's got a good left foot. If you bring him in for the wide areas, I don't think that's the right the right sort of signing. And Chiefs don't need more players who are going to play just off the main striker. So he's got a decent record over a couple of seasons. We know Chiefs tried to get him when he went to Bulu Stud, and they missed out. They moved too late. So maybe they're trying to correct the error. But yeah, I do feel there's a few issues there that he might be a bit of a confidence player. And that's not easy at Chiefs. You have a bad run of form, the fans on your back. Maybe it's not, it doesn't translate so well.
Tsepo, obviously Grant seems to like Mayo. Before I ask you what you think, my question is to you and to Grant. Would you sign him, Grant? Yes or no?
I would say I wouldn't. No.
Yes or
no? No.
Well, that's a no. Before we come to you, Tsepo, despite what Grant has said, he's now playing in the Kaizer Chiefs of Algerian football. So I think that's a big plus. He's only scored, according to Ricky, 4 goals in 17. That's 1 in 4 and a bit. So that's not a great record. But I want to point out 2 big games that we saw him play. It was against the Orlando Pirates, home and away. And I thought when he came on, he was absolutely superb. He ran Pirates ragged. He scored a good headed goal as well. I thought he was really, really good. Now, that could also talk to Grant's point that when all the stars are aligned, he's on fire and he looks like a world beater. But if the stars aren't aligned, there's lots of players that they just can't press that button and get them to deliver this kind of performance. 7-8 games, give a 7-8 out of 10 for 8 games out of 10. Is he that kind of player? Grant says promising, but not the final solution for Chiefs. You.
I would agree with Grant, that is promising. And again, when you look at the player, he's not also with the Bafana, current Bafana in the setup is not there. So then you ask yourself questions, why is he not there? Is he good enough to, play for Bafana again? And when you're coming back to Kaizer Chiefs, and I don't really think is that finisher that we're looking for, a top striker. 15, as Grant said, yeah, when it's hot, it's hot. When it's not hot, then you start, scratching your head a bit, like, when are we gonna get the Mayo, So I would say a no for Kaizer Chiefs, because they've already have like you know, in the attacking, they have the Vilagazi, outright the Lipos, Modiso. What I can say is that we're still looking for that, a striker, a finisher, Peter. We hungry for that top striker, meaning they will have to go and buy the striker. Strikers, top finishers, they are very rare and hard to get. But if you have the money, you splash your money on that position. That's where you just close your eyes and you pay that transfer fee. Hoping that it will solve your problems.
So basically, you're a no. My only comment on Mayo to the Chiefs fans out there, I believe he's better than what you got. And you've got to get better than what you got. He'd be a high risk signing, and he would come at a high transfer fee because they paid big money for him, and it would be a high risk. Whether I would do it or Chiefs, I think they're in a desperate state, and maybe they call for desperate measures. But it would be a high risk signing, but it is better than what they've got. Let's look at Mayambela. I think a lovely guy. We've interviewed him at SoccerBeat. He's a midfielder winger. Is he, and he would be free. Chiefs don't really need another midfield winger, but do you think he would add value to the squad because he'd bring X amount of goals to the table? And then you've got Lilepo scoring some goals. You've got Dube who's got some goals in him, and you've got some goal, and Sereno's got some goals in him, and you've got some goals in Mayambela as well. That'll compensate for having that out and out striker if they don't get one. And we'll start here with you, Tsepo. And I want to end up with a yes or no for the Chiefs fans. Yes, buy him, not as a striker, but as somebody who'll contribute to the goal tally, or not?
With Mayambela, also looking at the fact that he's coming for free. So sometimes teams do take advantage of that. That there's no transfer fee if the deal has to be done. So I would add him to the Chief squad, Peter. When you look at their wingers, also their goal contributions. When you speak about the Modis, and the young Vilagazi, Ashley. I don't know. Sometimes he's a winger, sometimes a striker. So when you're looking at the goal contributions in the stat, he's slightly, better than what they've been doing or what they have the other boys at Kaizer Chiefs. So for me, I would go for him. And also with you want to get the hungry players that wants to get back to the Bafana setup. He's also one of the guys that was there at some point, and he's not there like regular with Bafana anymore. So you're also looking at that the motivation. If I get him and he's for free, he's at Kaizer Chiefs big team. Yes, he's coming back to South Africa, and there's AFCON coming up, and there's World Cup soon. So, you also want to feed off that. You don't want to get a player coming back to relax, or for holiday, as they say sometimes when you come back from overseas. So I would add him to the Kaizer Chiefs squad.
Okay, he definitely he's got ability. There's no doubt. Grant, my question to you though, is it not? Are they not overloaded with wingers? I mean, you go Vilakazi, Modi, and I'm worried about blocking the door for Vilakazi to get into that first team, because I think he's got something. But at the end of the day, you got to walk over other players to get into any team anyway. It shouldn't be there because you've got to be given a chance. You've got to be good enough to have that chance. That's the first thing. They've got Modi, they've got Lepo, they've got Sereno who plays wide as well. Plus they've got Vilakazi, as I say. Do they need another player like that, or will he bring what Lepo has brought, at 4, 5, 6 goals a season, which there's no real record of that. The other point I want to make is saw an interview with ex-Cape Town City, the Dutch goalkeeper was at Cape Town City, a little while ago. His name just escapes me. And he said the Cypriot League is definitely way better than the PSL, a couple of notches above it, which I'm quite surprised. So it shouldn't be a difficult league for him to come into. But is it too much of the same and not fixing up the real problem, the number 9?
Yeah, look, I think he will add some goals from wide. He's very versatile. We've seen for Bafana, he's played on both flanks. He played as a number 9 in one game for Hugo Bruce. It was away in, I think it was Rwanda away where we lost 2-0, but he kind of covered as a number 9. But that's not his real position. The one thing I do like about him compared to a Lelepo or Sereno or even Ashley Dupré, who's probably going to have to play wide, he's more natural on that flank. He's a natural wide player. Lelepo and Dupré are wide forwards. Sereno's going to come inside the pitch. So Mayambela is going to stretch the play for you a lot more. He's a very mature player. He's 28 now. So you buy him for this, for the here and now. I think with his experience in, AFCON qualifiers away from home and that sort of thing, he scored in a away qualifier in Liberia. He'd be great for the CAF Confederations Cup. So I think as a here and now signing, which is good value as a free agent, I think it would make a lot of sense to get him. If he carried a big fee, like the Lelepos cost 10 million and we're looking at big fees for Mayo, then I'd probably say it's not really worth it. I do worry about, as what you said, with Vilakazi's path being blocked. Also, possibly Velebayi's path being blocked if that move does come through from Cape Town Spurs. So then it might be for 2 or 3 years those players' progress is stalled and then they kind of go the way of a Mshini or whatever who haven't quite stepped up and made their mark the way you would have expected, or even a Happy Mashiane who was doing well as a winger at one point. So yeah, you don't want to block the path, but I think as a short-term fix, he would make a lot of sense, experience and all that, versatility.
So Chiefs fans, you got it there. You got both Grant and Tsepo saying Mayambela adds value to the squad and adds goals. Not so sure about Mayo. Talking about Velebayi, I can tell you now, I very much doubt if Chiefs will be able to sign him. It's very simple. They've got a contract with another year to go. The fact that the team's relegated, it's a contract. While they keep paying him that money, he's under contract. You don't automatically become a free agent if your team is in a different division, if you've got a contract and they're paying you. Obviously, what Spurs are waiting, they're just saying to Chiefs, listen, give us X amount and you can have him. And it's really negotiating about a price. So if Chiefs put money down, then I don't think, and they do the deal, then I don't think they'll sign Mayambela. But Mayambela will bring quicker results than Velebayi. Velebayi still has to adapt to Kaizer Chiefs, and it's a big jump up for him. The last player not many of us know about is, they call him Muzi. Black Leopard striker. He's 25. He's 5'10", 1.8. He's scoring almost a goal every second game, 2.3 goals. Is there a player, we don't know much about him, and like some of the Chiefs fans out there and the fans who've seen him play for Black Leopards this season, give us feedback. But I can't think of players who come straight from the first division to the PSL at a big 3 club and made an impact. And that's a big risk as far as I'm concerned. He's also 25.
Yeah, I can't think of examples. Kaizer Chiefs signed David Zulu a couple of years back, who was prolific in the one tier down. He basically flopped completely. But then you've got someone like a Krim Reyners who came from Stellenbosch. He did quite well on the top flight, and now he's really finding he basically hitting his prime at 29. So yeah, look, I get there might be some risk that they take here and he proves a good buy, but I think it's really not guaranteed. And as you say, they need to sign players who are going to improve their best 11 now, like today. So yeah, maybe want to stick here up. I don't know.
Mazu, I think it takes the foreign spot, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure how long it's been, So again, that's another factor. And you also have Silva already, a foreigner up front, and it's as you said, it's a risk. It's a risk they would want to take. I don't think so. I don't think it's a risk that they should take right now. So it's a no for me.
Kaizer Chiefs legend, Kaizer Chiefs fan. Straight answer to the Kaizer Chiefs fans out there. Silva, do you put your money on being a success this season? From what you've seen,
from what you've seen, Peter, I can't put my money, on. I'm hoping, it's gonna improve. It's gonna prove us wrong, but from what we've seen, I'm still saying no. I can't put my money on him.
Grant, same question to you. Straight, our job is to be 100% honest to the Chiefs fans out there. We want Chiefs to do well. not besides the obvious that you hope he does well, from what you've seen, does he look like somebody who is the answer?
Look, not in his early outings. We have to be fair. He's worked hard, but hasn't really, been a goal threat. And if they sign a striker, he's going to be battling for minutes again because, they spend money on a Mayo. He's going to be on the bench and coming on as a sub, and it's going to be hard to adjust. So it's difficult to see him working out particularly well. But he does suit what Nabi wants. I don't think Nabi's going to. Maybe Duba will play up top, but he hasn't got that many strikers. So maybe he gets a run in the team and he does actually make success. But if I had to say, my instincts say no.
So my question then, final question to both of you and to the viewers out there, is what type of football does Nabi have to have Chiefs playing to get the best out of Silva? Because he's, if you can't be with the one you want, you got to be with the one you are. The song about we can't. So you got to be with you with Silva here. What kind of football do you have to play? You've watched him in all the preseason friendlies. Are you hitting the ball long for him to chase? Are you getting the ball wide for crosses? You definitely doesn't look like you can get the ball to his feet. Or do you have to play with a 10 in front of him who gets the ball to feet and then play? But you're almost playing with 10 players then?
I think he needs space. I think he needs space to attack. When you see the highlights, when he attacks big spaces, he looks dangerous. And so they need to play on the counter-attack, and Nabi doesn't want to do that. He said he refuses to play like a Polokwane City or whatever. So if they're dominating and they camped in tight spaces, he probably will struggle with those demands.
So Tsepo, I'm going to come back to you, Grant. That was exactly my point. When I watched these friendlies, surely they did their homework. He is a player who is almost got to take the space behind the defenders or far post. And it's not really what our Nabi plays football. So do you agree with that, Tsepo? And if you do you see Nabi changing his game?
I don't see Nabi changing his game, per se. But again, when you talk about space, there's in a game, there's moments, so sometimes teams are deep, you can find space from transition, and sometimes you're leading, a team gets desperate, they take risks and they higher up the pitch, you get space. So there's moments where you can get space, and if you need space, I'm sure you will get space, but not throughout the whole game, obviously. But again, with Kaizer Chiefs, so when you say you're a big team, so you anticipate team that will play a low block against a big team, and sometimes they deny you the space. They want to hit you on a counter. So my question is, if an opponent set the low block, or parking the bus, as they say, where and how he's gonna get the goals? Because now there's no space behind, and in the box they kind of bringing a lot of numbers to defend the box. So that's my only worry for a team like Kaizer Chiefs. When you're a big team, sometimes they tend to want to play more on a counter to invite you cameras, so we get the space. So if he needs the space, we deny them the space. It will be interesting to see, how is he going to counter that one.
So my feeling is a couple of points. Is number one, maybe I'm hoping that Nabi feels, because South African teams are very poor at dealing with crosses, they're going to get the ball wide early, get crosses in there, and he will cause havoc with his size. That's the one thing I think could be the positive here. But Kaizer Chiefs fans out there, there's a game on this weekend against Asante Katoka. So let's hope he gets, as an ex-striker, I know you score 1 or 2 goals, the whole world changes and everybody loves you, including the 3 of us, and the fans love you. So this is a very important game for him. If he gets a couple of goals and Chiefs win, what a difference a day makes. The whole world looks rosy. So let's hope we'll be watching this game, and we'll do a match review after this game. And let's hope he does well and gets a goal or 2, and then the season looks good, and his future at Kaizer Chiefs look good. It's so important, this opening fixture. Otherwise, Chiefs, you got to buy goals. That's a fact. In football all over the world, you buy goals. Holland, they bought goals. Mbepe, they bought goals. Chiefs, recruitment, buy goals. Thanks, guys. We chat again soon. Cheers, Chiefs fans. Talking Chiefs. Cheers, Grant. Cheers, Tsepo.